guys, Afmao here, and welcome to a mod spotlight on Legend Gear 2. Now before I begin, just a quick disclaimer, I don't do mod spotlights, and honestly this is my very first one, so I'm super excited about doing it. However, I wanted to just put a disclaimer out there because I know a lot of you guys are probably looking for a tutorial video on how to do this wonderful little Starwell right here, which is a part of Legend Gear 2, and I'm gonna get into that in the later part of this video, but this mod is honestly a mod I wanted to share with you guys because it is just absolutely wonderful. It's inspired by Zelda, and even if you aren't a fan of the series of The Legend of Zelda, you're going to find this mod absolutely wonderful to play around with because it is just, honestly, it's really cool, and you're going to see why in this little mod spotlight. Another thing before I begin is you're probably saying, Afmao, I know the internet, and I did a search for Legend Gear 2 on YouTube, and there are actually mod showcases on it, just so you know. Well, honestly, that's on Legend Gear, which was in Hexit, and I believe that was for version 1.6.4, correct me if I'm wrong. However, this is Legend Gear 2, and it's currently in beta for 1.7.10. So it is completely different from the first one, as it has a lot of new recipes, and it's centered around something completely awesome. Now, I'm going to show you this lovely little shooting star. Isn't that beautiful? Now, shooting stars happen at night. They're completely random, and if you don't reach them in time, they will disappear. Shooting stars, which you just saw me pick up, produce this item called a star piece, and star pieces are very, very important to this mod. This mod focuses around those shooting stars, so if you see a shooting star and you're playing in survival, of course you're gonna wanna go and run toward it because, like I said, they do disintegrate over time. So it's kind of like a little race to get this little star piece right here. Now, these star pieces are super cool. As you can see, there's stardust as well, which you can get by just placing a star piece in your crafting bench, and you will get, or your crafting inventory, and you will get stardust, which is right here. Now, let's say you want to get a star piece without having to wait for a shooting star to fall. If a shooting star falls and it lands around sand, it will create this stuff called starry sand. And I'm just going to place this right here. And starry sand you can mine, and you will get this star dust, which of course you can get by putting a star piece in the crafting menu, but you can also use 4 stardust to make a star piece, which is absolutely wonderful and awesome. Now let's say you have a pickaxe with Silk Touch 2 on it. You can actually grab some starry sand. This is just regular sand, so don't mind that. But if you have an item with Silk Touch and you mine the sand, you'll get the starry sand. And the starry sand can be put in here, and it will be made into this awesome little item called Star Glass. Now, I'm just gonna wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There we go, we got a star glass lump. Now, these lumps are used to craft a bunch of items in this mod. As you can see, you can use it in this boomerang right here. I'm gonna come right here. You can see you can use it in a boomerang. You can also use it in this star glass sword. There's a bunch of things that you use it for, and it's also used as a way to craft these orbs. So you're gonna need these star glass shells, which are basically made by putting 9 star glass into a crafting table. So let's go ahead and go over how to get these awesome little star stones. You can see that I've set them around. They are aesthetically pleasing to the eye and just beautiful. I love them. They are really, really cool. Now, the way that you want to get those, I'm going to put a few things in here. There we go. The way that you want to get these starstone is very simple. All you have to do is take a star piece and craft it like so, and bam, you put 9 in a crafting bench, you get a starstone. Now, another aspect of this mod is the infused star pieces. So you can see there are 2 different kinds. And the way that you get infused star pieces, come over here, grab some experience points, get 3 levels, hold down the right mouse button on a regular star piece, it'll charge, wait for it. You now have an infused star piece. And infused star pieces can be used to craft, just put it in like regular, you'll get infused stardust. And of course, if you come over here and put 9 infused starstone here, you will, or star pieces, you will get a infused starstone. And they look completely different because the infused starstone is a lot brighter and a lot prettier, and that's what I have laying down around here. So those are the basics of the first part of the mod that you want to kind of have a good grasp on. Next, I'm going to show you guys one of the ores and materials that you're going to be using in Legend Gear 2 crafting recipes, and they're going to be very important in order to craft these items. So I'm going to go ahead and set the time today. Let's see, there we go. Setting the time today, and as you can see, we have this ore right here, and if you dig around underground, you're going to find it. I'm not exactly sure if it spawns at a certain height, so I'm going to have to look a little bit more into that. And by the way, if you know something that I don't know about this mod that's featured here, let me know in the comments below, because I'm all about sharing that knowledge, and of course, it's really helpful to everyone who's trying to learn more about this mod. So this is called Azurite ore, and if you mine it, you're going to get Azurite dust. And if you bring it over here to a crafting table, you can let it sit, you can let it cook. I'm sorry, this is not a crafting table. This is a furnace. This Azurite ore must have disorientated me because it's so beautiful. Anyway, if you bring it to a furnace and you smelt it, you're going to get this Azurite dot, which you're going to be using in a few recipes that are involved in Legend Gear 2. Over here, we have this lightning-struck sand. And when it's raining, if lightning strikes the ground, it will create this. And if you dig it up with a shovel, you will get furite. And if we have the same thing over here, but with dirt, dig it up as well, you're going to get furite, which is used in lightning recipes, like the lightning orb, the lightning rod, those kinds of things. So those are two of the items, the materials that you're going to be needing in order to craft some of these weapons inside of Legend Gear 2. Now let's go ahead and move on to the really cool stuff. Now these weapons are just beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to show you how. They are beautiful. So let's go ahead and use some of the tomes. The tomes are super cool. If we come over here, this is the Scythewind tome. What it does is if you aim it, you can see that there is a highlighted region, and that highlighted region, if you hold the right mouse button, here we go, it has that really cool graphic, and it also takes off wool from sheep. But not only that, if you bring it over here, like to a tree, for instance, bring it right there, charge it up, let it go, bam! It takes off all the leaves on trees, so pretty much it strips sheep and trees of their leaves and wool. So that is absolutely cool and very helpful if you're looking to get rid of like an area in survival mode. Absolutely cool. The next thing we have is this Ray Fire tome, and it causes a little bit of damage. It just annihilated that sheep. So that's not a little bit of damage, that's quite a bit of damage. It takes a while for these tomes to charge up, but they are absolutely cool, and their little graphic is just beautiful, I have to say so myself. Charge this one up right here. Causes that little effect, and it throws a sheep into the air. If I do it on myself, it'll throw me in the air and also cause this nausea effect, which is very trippy. Oh my gosh. Take a look at that. And these books, these tomes are super awesome. And the way that you're going to craft them is you're going to need a special item that I'm going to show you how to get using this little Starwell ritual over here. If I come right here, I can see that there is this blank spell book that you're going to need to have a phoenix feather for. And I'm going to have to show you guys how to get that in a little bit. But I wanted to show you what these tomes do because they are just really cool. And if I say they're really cool a bunch of times, I'm sorry, but they are in my opinion. Next, we have these elemental staves. And the elemental staves do the same thing as the books. However, they have a small AoE, and if you charge them up, they take less time. They basically do really cool little graphics there, as you can see. And of course, there's one for Twinkle that's like Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I guess. We have a frost staff, which is based around ice, a jolt staff, which is based around lightning, and a ember staff, which is based around fire. There we go. Now, the way that you get these staves is you use these orbs, and these orbs, of course, they have a corresponding staff. The ones that are twinkling do. You can only use these in crafting recipes, and that's for the staves. If I bring all these orbs to the bottom right here, let's bring that. There we go. The ones that are twinkling, the glittering orb is used to craft the twinkle staff, the freezing orb, ice staff, the shocking orb, the thunder staff, and the burning orb, the ember staff. And of course, there are some extra ones as well. I'm going to show you what those do. So right here you have this glittering orb, and you remember that little star glass I showed you earlier? Well, that is used in the crafting recipe for all of these items. So that is why it is very important that you have that starry sand and go ahead and smelt it into a star glass lump. Now, if I come over here and I throw this orb, it's going to do that little twinkle effect. The freezing orb will do a little frosty effect. The shocking orb, quite shocking if I do say so myself. The burning orb, fire everywhere. The black shell is pretty cool because it's basically like you're just throwing a bunch of bombs. Pretty cool and pretty loud. We also have the lava shell, which produces a little lava source. I'm not sure if you can actually pick that up with a bucket, but give it a shot yourself. So now we have a water shell too. Put water right there. Put fire. Oh, you can't really see. So if you just throw these around, you're gonna get lava, you're gonna get water. It's gonna be not a good time for anyone that's standing around you. Finally, I want to show you these items, and these items are pretty darn cool. Now, this one right here is a Starglass sword, and the Starglass sword is very fragile. It's not as great as a diamond sword, however, it's really cool. It's just really aesthetically nice to have, and honestly, it's a really cool item. So if I jump and I land a critical, it'll break. That is the only downside to that sword. It's a really cool item to have, like I said, but it's not very effective. Just a really nice trophy item to kind of have around. Now this one, the boomerang, is so helpful. Now let's say that you have like an item on the floor, like you have an emerald, or you have a pork chop lying around, or you got a magic, not you actually know that, I need you right now, come over here. Or you have like this phoenix charm on the floor. Let's say you want to grab it because that creeper's coming and you want to get that item before you have to go run back to your base. Well, if you throw the boomerang, it'll bring back the items to you. Check that out. It is so cool, so awesome. And if I just throw it out, it does this cool little effect, goes around, comes back to you. Really, really awesome to have. Now, this right here, this Phoenix Charm, is the most important item if you're playing survival. Let's say you die. Come over here. Let's say you die, and we're actually going to use let's just go ahead and use a shocking orb on ourselves. So if you have this equipped right here, the Phoenix Charm, all you have to do, if you die, take a quick look at my health. Keep an eye on my health and watch the graphic that happens when I die. See that red fire that just popped out? Well, that was my charm being used, and I'm reborn like the phoenix. I'm on fire, rising from the ashes. It's very metaphorical. But if you have that, it will disappear if you die, and you will keep all your items, and you will have like a one-up life, which is really cool, really awesome. Definitely something you want to have. And of course, the last item is kind of an item that you would just want to have around your base. If you have them on the floor, people step on them, they get hurt, and they actually go and land somewhere else. So you can have like an infinite way to protect your base, unless someone picks them up, of course. So let's see. See, yeah, if they pick them up, then they will be able to use them for themselves. And it also causes a little slow effect. So it's a really cool item to have to protect your base. Alright, now that I'm done showing off the materials and really cool weapons that are used in Legend Gear 2, let's move on to the Starwell. Now, this, as I said before, there are currently no tutorial videos on how to do this. I had to figure this out on my own, and it is something that is a little difficult for me to explain. Again, I don't do mod spotlights very often, so I'm going to give it my best shot on explaining how to do this. I hope you guys can follow along, and let's get right on into it. So first off, the way I perform this ritual, do not think that you can do it at another Starwell because each Starwell has their own individual pattern. The way that I perform the ritual here is not going to be the same as over there, and I will show you why it's not going to be the same. First off, let me summon a horse. Now, there are multiple recipes that are used. However, the only ones that I know of are the horse, the sheep, and the phoenix feather. And of course, there's a few more. However, they're currently not out there right now, but I'm going to show you guys how to make a horse using this little ritual Starwell. So let's go ahead and pull out the items you're going to need. You're going to need a hay bale, grass block, a block of emerald, and some sugar. And of course, what you're going to need as well is some infused stardust. So let's come over here. Let's grab our infused stardust, put it right here. Now, just watch me do this one. I'm not going to explain how I do it. I'll explain it over there. But right now, just watch me do this one. All right, so hay bale goes on 1A. let's see, 2B is going to be a grass block. 3K is going to be a keystone. I have, let's see, that's number 3. Where's 4? All right, 4B is going to be a, let's see, A is a hay bale, B is a grass block. So let's go ahead and put a grass block here. Let's find number 5. 5 is a hay bale because it's A. There we go. Number 6 is going to be a hay bale. And number 7 is going to be a dirt block because a dirt block has been marked with B. All right, and then, I actually have over here 8A, which is going to be a hay bale. There we go. Awesome. Now, if I place down the sugar in the middle, and then I right-click it with this infused stardust, I got a horse! It's a donkey, actually! Hello! Hello, Murphy! How are you doing? Look at that! He showed up in this mod spotlight. Awesome. All right, I actually have a donkey named Murphy in another Minecraft series of mine, so that's just a quick little reference to that. But anyway, let's go ahead and show you guys how to work this. Now it's time to explain it to you guys, and the best way that I can possibly explain this is through demonstration. So let's go ahead and begin. You want to do the ritual at night because when you do the ritual at night, you'll see these little lines connecting, and this is very, very important. If you try to do it during the day, set the time to day, it's not going to work. You're not going to see those lines. So make sure that this ritual is done at night so you can try to figure out the pattern. Once you figure out the pattern, it doesn't matter what time of day you do it at as long as you have some markers down. And speaking of markers, we're going to need 2 items. We're going to need some signs. Signs are very important because you can just place them down and you'll know where to put certain blocks at. However, you're also going to need like a little notepad. You can use one on your computer, you can use a book and quill, or you can use a piece of paper in front of you. Personally, I prefer a piece of paper in front of me, but for demonstration purposes and so you can see what I'm typing, I'm going to be using a book and quill to figure out the pattern. All right, so first off, when you approach a Starwell, I'm going to explain this. When you approach a Starwell, you have to have this ritual locus, and it's going to look like this when you first approach it. You need this in order to activate the little circles. So if we look at the crafting recipe right here, we'll see that you need some star glass lumps and gold nuggets in order to craft this. A fairly simple recipe if you have all the materials. So we're going to place it right in the middle, and bam, it activates all the little circles here. Now, the most important thing, I cannot stress this enough, is that what you saw me do here is not valid for every single Starwell. Every Starwell is unique, and every Starwell has its own individual pattern that you have to figure out. So I'm going to do this by demonstration, and what we're going to do is we're going to summon a horse, which requires a hay bale or a donkey, depending. They're in the same family, so you need a hay bale, some grass blocks. You need a few hay bales, a few grass blocks, and 1 keystone. There's 3 items involved in every ritual recipe, so you're going to make sure that the keystone is something that you have. And again, I don't have all the recipes on me. There's still, some of them are still a mystery, but you can go check out the mod form to see if you can try to figure out some of the hints the dev is giving. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is figure out what the pattern is. And by that, I mean that you're going to figure out what block placement has a certain value. So we're going clockwise here, with clockwise being positive, right being positive, and clockward being negative, left being negative. So they have distinct sounds too for negative and positive. So if I put down a block, it doesn't matter what block you do at first, you just need to figure out this pattern. So if I put down a block, you heard that little sound that it made. It's a negative. So if I come here and I count, I go 1, 2, 3. That's -3. So in my little book and quill, I'm going to actually delete this because I did a little bit of experimenting off camera before I got to this part. If we come here, it's going to be -3. There we go. Done. So the first block that we place down is -3. The second block that we place down is a positive, and it sounds like that. Positive and negative have 2 different distinct sounds, so take a quick listen. Negative, positive. Hear that? Anyway, so what we're going to do is the second block we place down has 1, 2. It's a +2. So if you count from here, from the second block, it's 1, 2. If I come to the book and quill, I'm going to write that down. So the second block I place down is going to be +2. Done. All right, so now we're going to place a third block down. And it does not matter where you place the block down, the value of that placement is going to be the same. So I'll explain a little bit more about that later, but if I put the third block down, the third block has a value of +2. So if you count from here, 1, 2. So we're going to go into our little notebook, and the third block has a value of +2. And pretty much you continue this the same way. Now let's keep going. So the fourth block is going to have a value of +2 as well. Check that out. So fourth block, +2. I keep hitting this microphone. Move it forward a little bit. All right, so that's the fourth block has a value of +2. Done. Place down a fifth block. Now keep an eye on this one because take a look. Watch. You see how it canceled out that line right there? Now this block connected to this one, so it has a value of -2. And you're gonna wanna write that down. Of course, let's go to our book and quill, and the fifth block we placed down has -2. This is very important for you to remember because the keystone over there, when you place it down, it cannot have any lines connecting to it. I just wanna let you guys know that, and I'll explain a little later. So let's continue. So let's see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 canceled out. Now we're going to place the sixth block down and keep an eye on it because you don't want to miss where it connects. You got to remember where the lines are connecting. If I connect this one here, it goes here, so it's +2. Start from here, 1, 2. So let's go to block number 6, has a value of +2. Done. 7 is going to have a value, keep an eye on it of course, it's going to have a value of, we couldn't see that actually, or I couldn't see it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Where did that connect? We got to figure this out. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me connect to 7 here. It was -1. Take a look at that. All right, so 7 has a value of -1. Are you still with me here? We're almost done with figuring out the pattern. Now the last one. We got to keep an eye on this one because there's so many lines connecting. Let's see where it goes. All right, so it connected here. It has a value of -2. So if we go 1, 2, there we go. So 8 has a value of -2. The 8th block placed down has a value of -2. It's a little bit mathy, but you know what? You're going to feel so awesome when you figure out how to do this. All right, so now we can start with, let's start doing some of these examples right here. All right, so now that we have our pattern, I'm going to sign this book and close it. We're going to type in pattern, sign and close. Done. I've also assigned a letter value to these items used in the horse recipes. So a hay block will be marked with the letter A, a grass block will be marked with the letter B, and the keystone will be marked with the letter K. Now, of course, the letters don't matter. You just want to keep track of what you're placing down and when you're placing it down. The nice thing about this is that once you figured out where items go, you never have to do it again because the recipe placement will always be the same no matter what, as long as you have the pattern set for the Starwell. So let's go ahead and try to keep up with this part because this is if you've kept up this far, good job, because it is a pretty difficult thing to do at first, but if you keep practicing, you're gonna get it. Trust me, it's gonna work. All right, so let's go ahead and place down a hay bale. It does not matter where you place it down. The first block that's placed will always have a value of -3. So remember how I placed it here and it connected over here? Well, if I place it down right here, if I place this hay bale down, it's going to connect to this one right here. And of course, remember, you want to set the time to night because you can see those lines more distinct in the nighttime. Let's just go ahead and there we go, much better. All right, so you need those lines. It's absolutely important. So the first block we place down is going to be a hay bale, and hay bales are marked with the letter A. So there, 1A, right there. Now the second one we place down is going to be +2. So let's go ahead and put our dirt block right here. This dirt block is going to connect right here to this one because, of course, if you placed it here, 1, 2. It's the second one placed down. Now, one thing that I need to explain to you guys is that you cannot have a block connecting to the same block. So you cannot have a grass block connecting to a grass block because it won't work. Same goes for the hay bales. You cannot have a hay bale connecting to a hay bale. You can, however, have two hay bales connecting to a dirt block or two dirt blocks connected to a hay bale. As long as it's not connecting to the same kind of block that it is, then you're fine. So let's go ahead and look at our pattern one more time. So the third block we placed down is going to have a value of +2. If I put this down right here, the hay bale, because remember, we can't place down a block right here. Oh, one more thing. Remember to keep track of what you place down and what number it's in the pattern. So the second block placed down is going to be a B because, of course, these grass blocks are marked with the letter B. So let's go ahead and place down a hay bale right here. It's going to be +2 because in our book, the third block placed down is a +2. So let's go ahead and mark this. So 3 is going to be an A. So 3A right there. Done. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to connect this hay bale to a dirt block. So this has to be a dirt block no matter what because that's a hay bale. All right, so the fourth one is going to be +2. Let's go right here to a hay bale, or I'm sorry, not a hay bale, a grass block, put it down. And of course, we're going to mark it with 4B. So here we go, 4B. Done. Done, dilly done. All right, so now here is where the keystone can go. If you're lucky enough and your pattern has like a positive and a negative, they can cancel each other out. So the keystone cannot have any lines connecting to it at all. So if I put this keystone down right here, it's going to cancel out, and that's perfect because you don't want anything connecting to this keystone right here. Okay, and of course we're going to mark it as the fifth placement. And it's going to be K because, of course, we marked the keystone as the letter K. Now let's continue. We want to look at our pattern book, and we want to see 5th is -2, 6 is +2. So wherever we place it on these, we have to make sure that it doesn't connect to, whatever we place down, we have to make sure that it doesn't connect to something that is similar to it. So if we place this down here, it's going to go 1, 2. It's going to connect to a hay bale. So we'll be fine. So let's connect this right here. And we're good. We're good. It's not connecting to another dirt block, so we're good. So this is going to be 6B. So let's put down 6B. There we go. All right, now let's see what value 7 has. 7 has a value of -1. So if we put a hay bale here, it will connect to this one. But that means if we put, let's see what if we can put what right here. So the 8th one is going to have a value of -2, which is going to go this way. So okay, all right. So if you place a hay bale here, we'll be fine because it's not connecting to another hay bale. And this is going to be, let's see, it's going to be 7A. I still get confused on a few of the letter placements I assign, but 7A. And then 8, since it has a value of -2, it's going to connect to this hay bale. So this needs to be a grass block. Take a look at that. Right there, connected. All right, so let's go ahead and mark that as 8B. Right here. 8B. Done. We now know our pattern here, and we now know our placements and where certain objects go. So like I said before, you can place down any recipe here the same way that you just did, as long as you know what order they go in. And of course, if you look at the little lines, there are no hay bales connecting to hay bales. There are no grass blocks connecting to grass blocks, and the keystone is by itself. It stands alone. So let's go ahead and summon that horse or donkey. There we go. So now we have some sugar. We sacrifice some sugar, and if we right click with infused stardust, we'll get a horse. That wasn't so hard, now was it? So these signs will definitely come in handy for any future rituals that you do with any kind of recipe. And I'm going to show you another recipe and how it doesn't change. So we're going to put our pattern in here for future reference. Let's put that there. And of course, we're done with summoning horses, so we don't have to do that. Now, something that you want to do, I'm going to show you guys how to get phoenix feathers because I know that's probably what you're wondering. The phoenix feathers are gotten by sacrificing a bunch of things, and in order to do that, you're going to need the phoenix feather ritual recipe, which is going to be some netherrack, flint and steel, block of gold, and a star stone. It's not infused, it's just a regular star stone. You're also going to sacrifice some infused star pieces, and we already have infused stardust here in order to activate it, so we should be good. All right, so remember this right here, how we have A, B, and K. So what we can do is we can assign anything to this. So if we come right here, we're going to place the netherrack down. Now, you don't need netherrack, you need fire. You need fire, but you need netherrack in order to keep the fire in place. So just so you know. I'm going to have a block of gold and, of course, our starstone. Now, our starstone is going to be our, let's see, it's going to be our keystone. So there we go. This is the recipe for the phoenix feathers. Now, the gold block can have either, it could be A or B. It doesn't matter. So let's give it like a value of A. There we go. Done. And now we're going to give the fire a value of B. There we go, or the letter B. So all we have to do is follow this in this pattern. Horse, can you please move out of the way? You're almost as annoying as a dog. There we go. There we go. Stay over there. All right. So what we want to do is we want to place netherrack under all the places that have a B assignment. So there we go. Let's put B there. B right here, netherrack. B here. B here. All right. So there are no open Bs that need netherrack. All right, good. We're good. All right, so now all we have to do is just follow the pattern. So for the first one, it's going to be A. So it's going to be a gold block. The second one, it's going to be, oh, look, it's turning day. So we want to go time set night. There we go, so we can see the line a lot better. All right, so we want to go ahead and put down some fire because B is obviously fire. Next is the third one. That's a gold block because it's a A. There we go. The next one is going to be B, so that's going to be fire. Our fifth one is going to be the keystone. So the keystone is starstone. There we go. The sixth one, where is that? Horse, please move out of the way, horse. The sixth one is going to be B, so we're going to put down some fire. Seventh one is going to be A, which is going to be some gold. And the eighth one is going to be fire. Now we are ready to start making sacrifices to the Holy Phoenix. Now, this takes a few sacrifices before. You just basically have to repeat this recipe over and over until you get a phoenix feather. So let's go ahead. You're going to want to sacrifice 3 infused star pieces. I'm sorry. Yes, it's 3 infused star pieces, and you use your stardust. Right click. Favor of the Phoenix. Look, here it comes. Phoenix feather! And that's how you get phoenix feathers. Now, it doesn't always work right on the spot, as I noticed. I noticed sometimes you have to sacrifice a few times, but that one I got lucky enough. I guess I've sacrificed a few things already. I've sacrificed a few sugars and I've gotten horses. So the phoenix was mighty pleased with me, and now I have a phoenix feather. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get phoenix feathers in Legend Gear 2. And with that, I believe if you followed along with how to get the pattern right and everything, then you're good to go. You're good to keep practicing. And of course, remember to have like a piece of paper on hand, a book and quill, or a notepad or whatever. With that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up everything for Legend Gear 2. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, there's a few items that I wanted to go over really quick. This tuning fork right here. If I actually have to search for it. The tuning fork you can use, and I don't know how you use it per se, but the tuning fork can be used to figure out the pattern. And if you figure that out, let me know in the comments below, because at the moment it's a little bit, I don't recommend that method because it's a little bit difficult. You have to listen for certain keys and stuff. Just give it a shot if you'd like to. Experiment with it. A few other things is that they have these cool reed pipes. If you want to figure out some recipes, I know if you eat some fortune cookies, let's see. If you eat a few fortune cookies, go into game mode 0. Eat a few fortune cookies, they'll give you some hints. See, Afmal just learned the achievement fortune. The Phoenix watches over all the denizens of the world. Mini spells are dangerous to use underwater. There's cool hints that allude to like certain things in the mod. So if you eat more fortune cookies, you'll be able to figure out certain things on your own. And also we have these reed pipes. It's a little like ocarina-esque thing. You can play. Super cool. Let's see. You can turn emeralds into emerald pieces if you right click. And then you can turn emerald pieces, if you have 8 of them, into regular emeralds, which is pretty cool. And also, the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is this lovely little disc from the dev himself. It's like a little Easter egg. He has a little game called Dragon Dot. It is so cute. And if you want to support this mod, guys, be sure to check out that you can support him through donations, or you can support him by checking out that tiny little game there. It is super cute. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up for Legend Gear 2. I absolutely appreciate any feedback on this, and I absolutely am happy to share knowledge with you guys. So go for it. Go make your own little rituals. Try it out. See what you can find. If you find anything cool, be sure to let us know. Until next time, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I'm glad you can keep up. Take care, guys.